Hello,
Oh, hello.
I'm Sami,
And I'm Steve.
and you're listening to Rose Plate Special, the most dramatic, cruise shippingest, unsurprisingest, Disney
Unsurprisingest
trippingest recap podcast of the Golden Bachelorette ever.
ever.
And we were talking about AI content before we started recording, and here's our number one guarantee: you won't get this from AI because we mess up too much.
Yep.
Yep,
And
just
not
too
in
human.
weird AI ways. Like, I got a
No,
normal number of
we have
fingers. I'm just
all
an
of our
idiot.
fingers. Look at that. We
Yeah.
passed the human test.
This is my this is our promo for this episode. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Steve. I have 10 fingers, 10 toes, and all of my teeth, but I want you to know that I'm a moron.
I don't have all of my teeth, so
Oh,
you
wow.
win.
But you're
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I have a fake one and 4 extracted. So I don't have all my
Whoa.
teeth. Yeah. So I'm a little space age, just a little bit space age. Could set off a machine, you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're watching this and listening to this, you know where to find us and where to listen to us. But just in case this is the first time you're encountering us, this is kind of a weird episode for you to catch us on because there's not a lot to talk about, but we'll try to fill it with interesting stuff. And always check us out at Pop Culture Diner on TikTok, Pop Culture Diner online, on our various social media channels. And we're going to try to keep up with all this Dancing with the Stars stuff on TikTok as well. I try to like repost and like things because it's interesting. Jen's off the show, but she and her dance partner Sasha are still going strong. Jonathan's posting about, oh, well, you know, the girl you liked is into older men. So he's like dressing up as an older man. He posted a little like heartbreaky video the other day. I don't know what's going on. I think they're all manipulating us and I'm here for it. I'm honestly like, you can pull my heartstrings in any direction you want. I'm going to listen.
Well, let me tell you about my exciting day because,
What?
again, this is, one of those episodes where the exact thing that we thought would happen happened and everything was wholesome and nice and there was zero conflict whatsoever. I went to the DMV, okay, had to get my new driver's license. And I have over the years a bit of a master at having horrible driver's license pictures. Like just every single time it looks like I don't know. Like one of them was just like my face was uneven. It was very strange. Another one I kind of looked like a serial killer. So I'm kind of going and expecting this. And then I go to have my picture taken and I was like, "Oh God, I blinked. I know I blinked. I 100% blinked." And the guy was just like, "Go." And I was like, "Ah." Because what do you would they say go? You go. You just get your little number thing and then whatever. And then I went to the window and they gave me my little printout. And lo and behold, it is the best driver's license picture that I or any other human being has ever taken. It's not too happy. It's not I'm happy to be here because we're at the DMV, but it's not overly serious and serial killery. My eyes are open. My face is about as symmetrical as it can be, all things considered. It's wonderful. I almost want to just dox myself to show off how great it looks. That's how good it is. So I'm happy.
Wow. Well, you'll have to show me off the podcast. I'll take a look at your good driver's license.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's
And the
very
small
exciting.
joys in life.
Yeah, I haven't been to the DMV in a really long time, but I do have a current driver's license for the record. But they keep letting me use the same photo. They haven't made me take a new photo yet.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
I've had the
I feel
same
like you
photo
haven't
for a
aged
really long
in
time.
like probably 30 years, so that's fine.
That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you. I invest in skincare, so thank you. And I try to just ignore people who annoy me these days. That's been good for my skin. But anyway, yeah, another thing I'm doing actually, so I'm glad we're recording this today. I mean, I kind of planned it this way, but starting tomorrow, you're gonna think this is funny. You're gonna think I can't do it. Starting tomorrow, I'm going on like a media hiatus. I am yeah, okay.
Literally, what is your job?
Well, okay. So I've been doing morning pages. I think I might have talked about it on the podcast before, but okay. There's like this book called The Artist's Way. It's been around since like the 90s. And one of the activities that she has you do is like morning pages. So every morning you write 3 pages, could be about anything. And like once a week you go out on a nature walk, and once a week you go take yourself on an artist date and you do something creative for yourself. So like today I'm going to a movie. Tomorrow I'm going to a trunk show at this textile store that I went to a few weeks ago. So they're having a trunk show tomorrow and like a talk back and all that stuff. So I'm going to go then. So, I'm trying to abide by all of these things. And there comes a point, it's usually like week 4 in like the 12-week journey because she's got like these 12-week books with different exercises and stuff. So it's like week 4 in the original book is like the no media week. And she wrote this again in the 90s, which makes it
Oh,
much easier to abide by.
yeah.
And then you get into today and you're like, how the hell am I supposed to do that? Um, and I'm actually going to be on week 6. But I was like, well, I can't do no media in the middle of a Golden Bachelorette season. That
No,
would
that
be
would work.
wrong of me. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to pick a good time to like not be, so my goal is to like not watch any movies. So I'm going to one today, get my fix.
Mhm.
Not go to like not play any video games. And I am almost done building a computer. It'll be done probably by tomorrow. Don't read any books, don't watch TV, like no streaming services, no podcasts, no YouTube. She does say you can listen to music without lyrics for like
Okay.
background music. Um, so I might do that. But you're just supposed to kind of be like alone with your thoughts.
That's the
Um,
scariest thing I've ever heard.
right? Really scary.
Alone with my thoughts. Have you heard these guys? Come on.
And she does say, she's like, listen, I teach adults. Like,
Yeah.
you have to answer emails. In this day and age, you have to answer emails. There's certain media you have to consume for your job or for school or whatever. And she's like,
Mhm.
but what you should be consuming and like what you can skip for a
Yeah.
week.
That's fair.
So really it's just like use your discernment. So I'm actually really behind because I'm taking an accessible yoga class right now on top of everything else.
Oh.
It's
Too
just the
many
time.
activities. Who are
Listen,
you?
well, it's the time that he taught it, and I've been wanting to take it
Mhm.
for, like, years, so I was like, "Okay, I have to take it now," but we have, like, a year to finish our project, even though the program is, like, 6 weeks long,
Mhm.
so we're getting to the end of that, so I was like, "Ooh, I'll spend the time that I wanna spend watching other media, catching up on those videos because I have to do that. I've
There you
got
go.
school readings, I've got thesis work I've gotta get done." So I've told myself those are things that are allowed. You are allowed to
Mhm.
read for your thesis, read and obviously answer emails. But like if my friends, like, I don't know, podcast co-hosts send me like Instagram links or TikTok links.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
test
gonna
you.
look at them. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at them. I have already taken all of my apps and I put them into like folders. So so basically it takes one extra click for me to access all of my apps.
Oh.
And I also totally don't remember because I did it this morning, like which folder is which. So, like, I was trying to open TikTok and I was like, "What folder is it in? Is it in personal? Is it in media? Did I put it in life admin?" I don't remember, it
Yeah.
could be work, so that's actually really helped me already, but I'm like, "Well, but I wanna consume media today because my media diet starts tomorrow."
Yeah.
But yeah, so I timed it out basically because I knew we wouldn't have another season,
Mhm.
until, like, January, and after I get back from my media hiatus, I will start, I promise. I wanna read, Courtney Robinson's book. I want
Mhm.
to do a special episode on Unreal, and I wanna do a special episode on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yes. Yes to all those
Anything
things.
anything else on your wish list for winter break?
No. Oh, I could talk about those Mormon wives all day.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Are you excited that they're gonna, like, recap, like, season 1 during Grant's season? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a choice, but I'm fine with it. That's okay. Like,
Yeah. How do you feel about where do you think season 2 is gonna go? Have you been following them on TikTok?
no. Uh,
Mm.
and I feel like I should, but also I'm worried about like the health and well-being of my algorithm. Like, what is this going to do to my TikTok if it's
Yeah.
all Mormon wives all the time? Uh, all I know is just kind of like the immediate fallout after the first season. So I am hoping that Um, everyone is still a weird little freak. I hope that one guy continuously changes his haircut like
I
every
think he
single
will. I
hour.
think he'll continue to change his hair. Yeah.
Yes, that's important to me.
Yeah.
And I hope that the women who have husbands that are super restrictive jerks, I hope they leave them, and I hope the men fall face down into mud puddles repeatedly.
I think that's a good yeah, I really am just rooting for Jen over here.
We're
I'm
all hoping
hoping
for
she
Jen.
gets free. Yeah, because she seems like such a fun person, and I
Yeah.
just worry about her a lot. Anyway, that's my
Yeah,
biggest feeling.
it's fun when
And
you
Whitney
marry a giant red flag that continuously bops you on the head and just kinda
yeah.
drives you into the ground. It's great.
Yeah, I think Whitney, if she didn't try so hard, would actually be really fun. And I think it's interesting to see how people flipped their opinion on Taylor. They went from being
Mhm.
like, Taylor sucks to like, we're all rooting for you, Taylor. And I think Whitney could learn a thing or two from that. So
Yeah,
that's all I have to say
that's
about
good. I
those
also want a
things.
crossover. I want Lisa Barlow and Whitney to hang out and just, like, plot shit, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Lisa Barlow, you think Lisa Barlow and Whitney would be the right pairing?
I mean, I'm trying to think of the 2 most villainous people. That seems like
I guess. I am really behind on Salt Lake City too, so this is, like, showing that I'm behind, but I feel like
Yeah.
people like Lisa Barlow despite the fact that she is villainous,
I love Lisa Barlow, but she's a
right?
monster.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
great.
I know, but I don't think, like, Whitney is as likable as Lisa Barlow, even
No,
in
because
her, like,
Whitney is
villainous.
she tries to do all this stuff to, like, soften her image, where Barlow is just straight hard edges, and you have to
Yeah,
respect it. Whitney's like, "No, I'm gonna go to a farm for 10 minutes because I wanna be a homesteader now because I read about it somewhere."
yeah,
It's amazing, but it's not real villain behavior. You gotta
not
lean
real
in,
villain
or you need
behavior.
to find your redemption arc. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. So yeah, maybe we'll see a crossover episode and
Ugh.
maybe with the Golden Bachelor we'll see a cruise cuz where are we on the last episode? We're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, clearly
We're on
they
a cruise
have,
ship.
like, the infrastructure is there for the sponsorship, for the crossover, so just, like, make it happen, man. Give
Yeah,
us
do a
Golden Bachelor in
crossover
Paradise.
and put Salt Lake City girls on there. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, put them
Salt Lake
all on
City girls,
there.
Mormon wives, put them all on the boat together. Can you imagine like a cruise ship sized Big Brother with
Yeah.
like several franchises coming together? I'm just giving them money at this point. It's the
I was
best
just
idea.
picturing it's like, oh, here's Charles and Jen from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and they're
Oh
just
my gosh,
sitting next
they
to
would
each
have
other.
so much fun together. That's a good pairing. Talk about a good pairing.
What
They
would
would
what would they do? Like, what would
they
be their
do dances.
top
They
activity? Yeah,
do
little
dances.
dances.
They would do dances 100%,
Yeah,
and then
modest
Charles would,
dances,
like, cook
Sami.
for her. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Charles can do that.
yeah.
He's, like, versatile, he oh my gosh, I could s those 2 would be besties. That's such a good pairing. That gets me so excited. Okay, anyway, so all
What
right,
happened on this TV show? Nothing. It's
nothing, they just did dances, it was so cute. So I like that they open this episode like, this is my favorite thing when they do a live episode, but have previously recorded spots. I'm sure it's, like, some
Mhm.
kind of regulatory thing too, but I also know it's because people think it's live, so every time I see it, it makes me laugh,
Yeah.
because 'cause it'll be, like, previously recorded and then live, and then they're like, "What's gonna happen at this last moment?" And honestly, this was one of the most boring anticlimactic finales I've ever seen, but good for Joan. I hope she's happy, I hope it works, I hope it's good, so I'm fine with it. So we get to see Chalk's date first, and he comes in with a family, and they edited it to be like, "Oh, Joan's son is being hard on him," and then it's like, "But actually, he's not, and he thinks Chalk is great." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Like,
Also, what his glasses? He's got the sexy serial killer
I knew
glasses.
you were gonna say something about that, and I just let you do it, and so that I didn't have to do it. So
What
I
I'm here
just
for, Sammy.
yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "I know what Steve's gonna say."
Steve's gonna call him a sexy serial killer.
Yeah, he's gonna say something about those glasses. Um, but yeah, well, it was weird because right, he's like interrogating him and he's like, "You've got
Mhm.
gigantic shoes to fill. Okay, our dad was the best, and you're not our real dad." And then
Yeah.
yeah.
That he literally, and the way he says it too, he's like, "So how are you gonna be my dad?" And it's just like, I don't think he's
And
gonna,
Chalk's
man.
like, "I'm not gonna be your dad,
Yeah.
okay?
You
And I'm not." And he said all the right things, he's like, "I'm not here to replace your dad. I'm just here to make your mom happy, and that's all I'm here for." And then it's like there's
Yeah.
so much cut out of the conversation because then it just goes to her son being like, "You're everything I could have hoped for someone to be with my mom." And it was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is great. This
The
is great."
hardest they've ever worked to edit for drama. It was just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, so, how you gonna be my dad?" And then Chalk is just like, "Oh, maybe you didn't read the paper this morning, but you don't have one. Now you got a chalk, baby." And then he goes straight to you like, yes, you're the perfect chalk for me and my family. And how do we get to these different
Yeah,
places?
it
I
was
don't,
weird. It was
it was
really
very
weird. I mean,
strange.
they only had an hour. I was actually surprised, like, it's an hour and a half, but with commercials, it's an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of thought for the finale they were maybe going to do a 2 hour thing, but I guess because they didn't. But I was like,
Yeah. No,
there
Sammy,
must
blood from
be
a
a shortened
stone.
part.
There's
Yeah, I
no
was like,
way that you could get anything else out of this.
well, just for a little bit more of a transition. I don't know. It was just so
Hmm.
abrupt. It was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it was
And
strange.
then this was a weird thing too. During this whole segment, there was like a young guy they kept focusing on in the audience, and I have no idea who he is or who he's like who he's supposed to be, or it was just some
Hmm.
random guy. But because I kept going, well, that's not her son. I don't
Oh,
think,
maybe it's
unless
another one of
he's just like
Pascal's
totally.
kids.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was just
Camera
weird.
test.
They kept going back to him. If anybody knows who that was, like tell us because I was so confused by that.
No, no idea.
But the kids were like, wow, this experience has exceeded our expectations. And then they get done with that part. Chalk's like, it couldn't have got any better. And then he spends time with Joan. And this was actually really, I think, how he cemented his place. So good for you, Chalk. This was really smart. He was like, I'm giving you this symbolic key. It doesn't actually open anything. Calm down. But it symbolizes that we are going to get a place together in New York City, and that's part of my commitment to you, and I'm so excited to like find a place and pick it out with you, and let's do that. And I think, because logistics, especially with like these older folks on a show, it's like they can be so rooted in certain places. For him to be like,
Hmm.
yeah, fuck Wichita, okay, I'm coming to New York City with you,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
For
And
me, it's
like,
pretty easy to say fuck Wichita, but I can see for
yeah,
a real red-blooded American like Shock,
he's got a
that's a
lot of
little
family
harder.
there, but he's like, listen, and it's nice because it's a neutral location because Jones in like what, like the DMV area, right?
Hmm.
So like to have Joan also like go somewhere else, and it's like we're building this life together in this place that we're both excited about, and this is my commitment to you. I was like, yeah, that's like a really smart way to do it,
And their
and
cute little Lower East Side walk up that they're gonna have. I mean, they have to
yeah,
live in Manhattan, right? Like Joan doesn't live
yeah,
in Queens. Come on.
no. But it's cute. Yeah. And she's like, that's really sweet. I really like that. And then Chalk just keeps saying, I love you, even though Joan won't say it back till the end. But he's like,
Yeah.
he's confident. I mean, he's been confident from the beginning. He's like,
Oh,
this is
he's
my game
known.
to
He's
win.
known. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is wild. And Joan's like, thank you. Cause she's like, I'm not going to say it till the end. I'm not doing it. I'm not saying it till the end. And so then we get to the date with Guy. And I mean, right away, I'm like, oh, my tummy hurts. Like, this is not good. And she's just like, listen, um, basically like, I respect you, you're a great person, like you are, and like he started like, it's raining, but I'm not gonna let that ruin my day because I'm excited because I'm going on my last date with Joan, and it's gonna be great, it's gonna be a great day. And then Joan's like, so Guy, this is not gonna work out because actually I my heart belongs to somebody else, so I have to end this.
Didn't even let him do the sad, like, stand on the beach shit where nobody comes
Mm-mm.
to say, I love you, or he gets
Yeah,
dumped on the
yeah.
beach. We get the
He
pre-beach dump.
Yeah, he's just like, "Oh god," and he starts shaking.
Yeah.
He's, like, upset, he's shaking. He did not see this coming at all, and what did he say? Like, he said something "I had no idea," or, like, "I didn't even know," and he was, like, stunned and really sad,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, Guy, because yeah. I mean, weird paperwork aside, I think, yeah, you seem like a really good dude. And I wasn't sure. I thought between Guy and Chalk, she was gonna pick Chalk, but I was
Yeah.
like, there are a lot of compelling reasons to pick Guy. I mean, there were a
Oh
lot
my
of compelling
God.
reasons to pick Pascal. There were like, so
Yeah.
I
And Guy, you're gonna
was a
be
little surprised.
okay. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you're already okay, but you're gonna be okay. First of all, like when they did the live segment when he was like in his suit and everything, like, whoo, looking
yeah,
good, buddy. And I would say right now, every woman age 25 to 95 is like trying to paw at his door and kick it down to get
yeah,
to him. So
yeah,
he's set.
yeah. Lake Tahoe will never be the same.
No,
Yeah, I mean, but it's sad. It's really
it is
sad,
sad.
and he
Yeah.
didn't make it, and he obviously cared a lot, and he was very heartbroken when it didn't work out. Um, But I didn't really write them any notes for this episode, I'll be honest. We get to the part, with Chalk, they do the proposal, they do the rose. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I
No.
liked the supercut they did of Chalk being like, "I'm crazy about you." That was very funny. Uh, and then you find out that they win a Disney World trip for their families. Cute.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd be
and
bummed out,
yeah.
but they seem to like it.
No,
Whatever.
I mean, I get it. Like you want to bring your family. I think that would be a fun trip. I don't know.
I can't
Um,
Disney anymore. You
you
know
can't
what?
Disney anymore?
My Achilles tendons have been rammed into by enough strollers in my life. I'm I'm cutting
You're
it
done with
off.
Disney forever? You're never
Done with
going back?
Disney. Done with Disney.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I haven't been since I was 18, so I can't
Listen,
really say
unless
much.
God curses me with a child, then I will never go to that place.
God curses you. Good
I'm
time to
kidding.
talk
Kids are
about
fine. They're fine. I don't have any. I don't want any.
good time to talk about Mormon wives. No. So, by the way, okay, so then we see Grant come back. Okay, a couple things I'm sad about. No announcement for Golden Bachelor. They're still figuring out what the hell's
Still
going on.
figuring it out. Yep. They're still trying to work through it.
Who do you think it's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be Guy?
Yeah, it has. I mean, Guy's got to be
I
the
feel
number
like Guy's
one.
like the obvious choice now.
It is beyond obvious.
Yeah, because
Like,
I mean, Jonathan's with somebody. I don't think Pascal's like ready. My
no,
my dream casting is Charles, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
no,
So
it's not
and it's not
possible.
gonna be Jordan.
No,
So it's gotta be Guy. It's gotta be, right?
it's
I
got to be Guy.
hope.
Well, Guy is the top choice. Like
I think he's a really good choice. I
this is
think they
like the
should just pick
last
him.
episode or the last season of The Bachelorette where everyone's just like Maria or this person or this person or this person or this, and then you finally get down the line. You're like, and here's who it is. So it is Guy's season to say no to. I would
Yeah.
say.
But I mean, you have to admit, like, the whole thing worked out with Jen, like, fabulously. I mean, well,
Yeah,
and it's mostly, and honestly, I think it's a lot of her post-Bachelorette stuff that's been the most fun and the most interesting. But she's had a great arc, and I think her personality was so much more fun and interesting than what we got to see on Joey's season. So they knew what they were doing, just like with Charity. It's like they knew what they were doing. We just
yeah,
didn't see it.
yeah,
So there could be something like that. But then again, I feel like we've gotten a better feel of these men, like, and their personalities. So
yeah.
there's not really anybody. I don't know. I'm like trying to think. Like, there's a couple guys on the show in the beginning who seemed like conventional good choices, but they didn't get a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
That
What about
maybe they could
non-binary
dip into.
Thanksgiving guy?
Bob.
Is he yeah.
Yeah. Well,
The
okay. Oh, you know what I was upset about? Okay. I thought when Bob was talking about like the lesbian coven Thanksgiving or whatever, that he was going
yeah,
to say, Joan, if you want to be like an honorary guest, like feel free. But he didn't. He was just like, our
didn't
Thanksgiving is
invite
going to
her.
be great. And I was like, oh, would have
Joan's
liked
not
it.
there.
Even if I said no, I would have liked an invite. Like, would
Yeah, maybe
have
keep
been
him around
fun.
another week, Joan, if you want an invite to Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Come
I was like
on.
I was kinda like, Yeah, I was kinda hard on Bob because, like, chiropractor can go one of 2 ways, but, like, I
Mhm.
have to say that Thanksgiving tradition is cool. That it's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe Bob, I don't know. I was thinking, like, what was it, Dan? With, like, wasn't he the one who had the tremor? Was it Dan?
Oh, yeah, Tremor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That could
like,
work.
he's really like, he's kind of one of those, like, great on paper, conventionally good-looking guys who was on the
Mhm.
show, but just didn't get a lot of, but he, like, had a good heart, underneath all of it, and,
Yeah.
and he had a good story, and he had, like, a
It's
good
harder
family
though
story too. Yeah.
with the golden stuff because there's not a paradise thing. So Keith is a great example. I love
Yeah,
Keith.
Keith and
Okay?
Charles and, Gary are, like, paradise guys.
Yeah, these are paradise guys.
And
They're
Jack,
not main
obviously.
characters.
Jack, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
yeah.
paradise guys. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not like you can't I mean, you could slot them in as the Golden Bachelor, but that's not their place.
Right.
They're they're part of an ensemble, you know?
Well, it's kind of like, before we had Paradise, Bob Guinea was, a bachelor,
Mhm.
which I thought he was, like, a good bachelor. But I
Yeah.
think if there was a Bob Guinea today, we would say he's a Paradise guy.
He's a
So
paradise man. And
so
that's how
I'm
it is.
just I'm just saying, like, but they can hold their own, so we shouldn't forget
Mhm.
about that, you
Oh,
know?
and it's not even about that. It's just like the role that they play.
Yeah.
Think of them as Hollywood stars. You got your Brad Pitts and your uh, George Clooney's and your guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's your main character. And then Hollywood equivalent, you got like a Gary Oldman. There's Keith.
Mhm.
Versatile, fun, well respected by his peers, but not a guy who's going to put butts in seats. Guy is the guy who puts butts in seats.
I mean, Gary Oldman. Well, I don't know if Gary Oldman is like the best choice because he's had
He's a great
leading roles.
character actor,
Yeah,
but
but he's had
no one.
leading roles.
No. But no one has literally no one has ever gone to see a movie and be like, "Oh, did you see the new Gary Oldman movie?" No one's ever said that except for like people whose glasses are falling down their nose and they push them back up. You're like,
Okay.
no one. I'm like, you don't count. I'm talking about like
Well, I don't
the
know
general
if I don't know
population.
if I've said that about Gary
No,
Oldman
no one's ever said, but
necessarily.
everybody loves. But if you know who Gary Oldman is, you're like, yeah, fucking Gary Oldman.
I don't know about that choice, but I'm trying to go with it. I'm trying to
You know,
follow
so
you on this
like a
journey.
person who is a respected actor who is maybe has had lead roles, but is known more for like supporting roles. So another one would be like, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Another guy, it's just like he's great.
Again, I have gone to see movies because Philip Seymour, like, because in my mind, I'm like, okay,
you're pushing the glasses up the
Philip
nose. That's the
Seymour
difference.
Hoffman, Sam Rockwell,
Yeah.
guys like that, like,
Yeah.
John C. Reilly, like I have gone to see them specifically.
But like these are the kind of people where it's like if I go up to my aunt and I'm just like, did you see the new George Clooney movie? She knows what I'm talking about. If I'm like, have you seen the new Gary Oldman movie? She'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like it's
oh
this
my
is
God.
for the everyman or woman.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see the new Hugh Grant movie where he plays like an evil man.
Yeah,
So I'm very
evil Hugh Grant.
and a different evil than he normally is evil. So I'm excited for
Mhm.
that. I think that's gonna be really fun. What I feel like, do you feel like Grant like looks much more intriguing? I don't know if it was like the lighting or if they've done a little bit of a glow up or something. But
What is the allure of Grant?
no, I mean like he was handsome, but I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he got the Bachelor treatment and like he looked extra handsome on
Oh
the,
yeah.
after the final rose. I was like, okay, all right. I see where they're going with
They got the
this.
glam squad over there. They know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
he's looking good. He's like, I mean, he did look good, but then, and it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, but then they like upped it, like the it factor. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, all right, Grant. Are you excited about his season yet, or are you still kind of like not sure?
I mean, he's still I don't know. He's a day trader. Like how can I get past
But
that?
he loves his music.
This is
He's gonna be
this sounds
playing
like
a lot of music. It looks like
I don't
you're
want
not
that.
into it.
No. Like this is the kind of person where like my recently divorced friend is telling me about the guy she's dating, and I'm like, "Oh, he sounds great. He looks really handsome. Tell me about him." And then I'm going down the line. I'm like, "Oh no, oh no!"
Why are you
I
just
just
talking about like past me?
this this whole episode is just a thinly veiled attack on Sami.
Yeah, what the hell? You're like, nobody goes to see supporting characters in
Yeah,
lead roles.
yeah. Sami
Who
about
likes character actors? Loser.
listen. I do too. Okay,
I'm like,
I will talk about my love of Paul Giamatti all day, but I'm
Paul Giamatti is such a good example. And I've only gone to see him in lead role. I go to see Paul Giamatti movies on purpose.
yeah.
Every time. Every
You're
time.
you're the one. You did it.
What am I gonna watch him like? What was he in? Like, what's that one with Frankie Muniz?
Frankie Muniz?
Yeah, wasn't he? Because he like Agent Cody or something like that.
Agent Cody Banks?
Agent Cody Banks, right? Wasn't he like
Yeah,
the baddie in that
I think he
movie?
was. Is there
Yeah,
a sequel? No, I don't think there ever was a
I don't
sequel to
know. I
Agent
don't
Cody
think there was,
Banks.
but
Why is that? There
I don't
should
know.
be.
But I just saw your
My
cat's tail and
cat's
it scared
tail
me.
is like
Hello. Um, no,
bananas.
but
Yeah.
like Sideways, American Splendor, and
Yeah.
now the oh my God, why did my brain just go?
But has your aunt seen any of those?
The Holdovers. Um, has my aunt seen any of those?
Yeah.
My
I'm
aunt
not gonna say your
hasn't
mom because I feel
seen
like you have
any.
cool
My
parents.
parents have seen all of those movies and are as
Yeah.
obsessed with Paul Giamatti as I am. They were the ones who like got me interested in Paul Giamatti because they were like, "Oh, Sideways, so good."
Which you saw when you're probably like you're like 12, you're like, "Yeah, a wide trip because I'm trying to find myself and I'm 40."
No, Sideways came out when 2004.
2004,
I
yeah.
saw it when I was in high school. I probably was a little young to watch it, but you know. I watched it by myself. I didn't watch it with my parents. That would have been
Yeah.
awkward.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really weird. You're probably the same age as Paul Giamatti in Sideways right now.
That's probably true. That's probably true. But yeah,
Something to think about.
if you haven't seen American Splendor, friends, do not sleep on it. What a
Mm-mm.
great movie. I've got a lot of Harvey P. Carr books on that shelf over there. Okay. Big
That is
fan.
good. That
Big
is good.
fan. Okay. Got a lot of underground comic books. Got a lot of R. Crumbs and Dennis Kitchen stuff over there.
This is good.
Telling you.
People have been waiting for the moment where it's like, okay, we have kind of a nothing happens Bachelor finale.
Yeah.
So this is the Bachelor Harvey P. Carr crossover everyone's been waiting for.
You gotta love Harvey P. Carr. If you don't, what's
Hmm.
wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Oh god, I had something else I was gonna say about that. Oh, very exciting news coming from my former employer. We'll talk about this and then we'll close it out. So for those of you who don't know, I used to work at the Onion. I worked there for a couple years and I did like a bunch of event promotions and all of that kind of stuff. And I worked for like the city office. So I would sell ads and give out lots of free concert tickets. I mean, gobs. You would be shocked how many times I get to sit in very special seats. Okay, felt like a very special person. It was my dream job, but not lucrative. And I left right before like the paper version went under. Like I saw it coming and I left. And then like a year or two later, like the paper went under and all that stuff. But it was a great place to work. I had the best boss. I learned so much and I made plenty of mistakes as well. But I just found out, like, what was that, yesterday? Didn't that happen
Hmm.
yesterday? The Onion bought InfoWars. I don't
Very funny.
even, I Amazing. Amazing. I have no notes. Honestly, The Onion continues to exceed my expectations for what they're going to do. Um, do I think their former business practices with keeping the paper part afloat? Do I support that stuff? No, that made me sad. Okay, but I understand. It was when everyone's like, paper is dying. Nobody cares about paper anymore, and
But they're
they
bringing the paper back too now.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna bring back, like, city offices. I think they're just gonna do,
no,
like,
no, there's not
distribution.
going to be any AV Club Milwaukee stuff
Yeah, I mean,
anymore.
that was, like, so special. That was a really special, like, point in time, and we were
Hmm.
so ingrained in the community. We were at, like, every event,
Hmm.
but we were the last city to fold.
Hmm.
We
This
w
is
we
true.
were holding strong, and we were actually still doing well financially, so I'm very proud of that. So anyway, that part was disappointing, but I'm happy to see that they have survived a lot of iterations of the internet since then,
Hmm.
and this latest InfoWars acquisition is one of the most amazing trolls I couldn't even dream this up.
Oh,
Ugh,
my favorite part of the whole thing is so basically InfoWars got taken away because of the Sandy Hook lawsuit.
yeah.
And so all of this is kind of tied in with that lawsuit and the parents of the children who were killed at Sandy Hook. So when InfoWars kind of went up to auction and companies and hedge funds and the Onion were putting in bids, a lot of those bids, like their evaluation was kind of tied to the whole like court settlement, all of that.
Mhm.
So, in order to get InfoWars, the Onion had to work to kind of like bolster up their bid a little bit. So, people from the Onion literally sat down with the parents of Sandy Hook and said, guys, so you might lose a little bit of money here, but think about how funny this would be.
Yeah. And they're
And
like,
they said,
"We're
yes.
in. We're in. This is amazing. What a great idea." Yeah, I
Fantastic.
mean, in a day and age when people are talking about like okay, like AI taking over content writing jobs and
Hmm.
journalism being unreliable and like the media being evil and all that crap. And this is
Yeah.
my whole
Except
life.
for podcasters who are cool
Right.
always.
But I'm saying, like, this is such a major part of both of our lives and, like, our careers and everything. And
Hmm.
so to see a media company that has honestly been they've had so much integrity for so long. I mean, they started the year I was born. So just like I don't know a life without The Simpsons, I don't know a life without The Onion. And those two things have really shaped me as a person. You don't know that about me. And so to see them carry themselves with such integrity and
Hmm.
do a move like this and show the importance of journalism and media, despite it being a satirical publication. That's not, that's not the core of the work that they do. Was so encouraging. I don't know. It just really like things can feel really shitty and hopeless. And this was like one of those things that made me feel like a spark of like, you know, I've been talking to some of my friends about like righteous anger and acting
Mhm.
out of spite, being powered by spite, and how that can be productive, like
Mhm.
productive rage or productive spite. And this really like tapped into the feeling that I've been like trying to connect with like the past few weeks. Like how can I create art and you know things that come from like my mind and my soul
Mhm.
in a world that wants me to be soulless and give up. And so that's what this meant to me this week.
That's
A
nice.
very heavy ending to a very light, boring episode. So I hope you enjoy that, everyone. And I hope
Yeah.
you create something out of anger, spite, or happiness. It could be contentment as well. But whatever you need to fuel you, I hope it fuels you. Please rest when you need to rest and take care of yourself. We are heading into a busy holiday season, and you know how that is.
Yeah. And don't do needle drugs, especially around the holidays. Come on. Wait, cat cam.
Go to the cat cam. Check us out on Instagram and
Say
go
hi,
to the
bananas.
cat cam. You should go. Yeah, hell yeah.
You should go off your butthole, bro.
Butthole
Cool.
cam. Butthole
Butthole.
cam. If you're not listening, if you're listening and not watching, you're missing the cat butthole.
Yeah, this is the only Bachelor podcast with butthole.